What is cracking, everybody? It is Majin Wolverine, and welcome to the second ever episode of Podcast X. No special guests today. Today I am talking about wrestling in the news. So, recently, last week was the debut week of NXT on USA. So that was huge. And Undisputed Era have become a modern day version of Evolution, which means they have all the championships from NXT on their side. Which means they have the tag team belts, the NXT belt, and the NXT North American Championship. Sorry about that, that was a cat. So I kind of predicted that was going to happen. I kind of figured it was going to happen anyway, so there's that. So that was huge. And so the real reason why I wanted to talk about wrestling in the news right now is because next week is going to be the biggest week for wrestling fans all over the world. Because Monday night is going to be the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. But there's also going to be another wrestling company making its debut, because next week, Wednesday night, is the debut edition of AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It is the first time since the final episode of WCW Monday Nitro that wrestling is going to be on Turner Network Television, on TNT. That is huge. That is something us wrestling fans never thought would happen again. Because I've watched the Monday Night Wars series on the WWE Network and why TNT and why WCW fell. So there was that. Also, sorry, I'm getting text messages while I'm getting this. Anyway, so that is huge. So next week is going to be the debut week of AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. I really hope they don't put it in direct competition with NXT, because if they do, WWE might do a little Attitude Era thing in NXT, and AEW might go out of business. So, I'm really, really hoping WWE doesn't do that, and I really hope AEW does not go in direct competition with WWE. Learn from WCW's mistakes. That's all I got to say to AEW's. Learn from WCW's mistakes. So then there's that. So I can't wait for that. And plus, we're going to be deciding the first ever AEW Women's Champion. That is going to be amazing. Then we are not having Tuesday Night SmackDown Live because next week on Friday, it is going to be the premiere episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. I cannot wait for that because we have two huge matches that I want to talk about right now. And that is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title, as well as Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a ladder match. The loser leaves WWE. So let me get before I get to the ladder match, let's get the WWE Championship match out of the way. Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston. Some critics actually say that Brock Lesnar may be a full-time wrestler now after he wins. So that might be a good thing, but it also might be a bad thing. But I'm not going to say who's going to win, because honestly, one, I think it's about time that Kofi loses the championship to somebody. But I also don't want Brock Lesnar to do the shtick of being champion and not showing up. So that's my problem with this championship match. I think it's about time that Kofi loses the title because I think this title run has just run its course. And I think it's about time that he loses the championship. But I also don't want Brock Lesnar to do the thing that he's done with the Universal title. And that is not show up and be champion. So there's that. So that's my... Excuse me. So that's my views and points on the WWE title match. Now, on to the ladder match. That is something I'm going to look forward to because it's a perfect way to end this Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens rivalry. So they're basically going to put their contracts on the line in like a briefcase, hanging above the ring, and they're going to climb the ladder, retrieve the briefcase to win. Loser leaves WWE. So my prediction is basically Kevin Owens is going to win. That's just the way I see it. I'll be surprised if WWE actually lets Shane McMahon win. I would be surprised. With the way this storyline is going to go, I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens is going to win. But if he doesn't, that would be surprising, and that would make the story a little bit more interesting. So there's that. But yeah, my prediction is Kevin Owens is going to win. If Shane McMahon wins, that would be interesting. But yeah, so that's basically Wrestling 101. And I think this next Sunday is Hell in a Cell. So I'm actually looking forward to The Fiend versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title. And for the Universal title in the season premiere of Raw, it's going to be obvious Seth Rollins is going to win. If Rey Mysterio wins, that's going to make it a little bit interesting. And I mean, Rey has worked full time ever since he got back in the WWE, which is nice. And apparently, Fox executives wants to have The Fiend on SmackDown, but I don't think it's going to happen due to Paul Heyman wanting The Fiend to be on Raw, and since The Fiend's getting a Universal title match. So, there's that. But other than that, I've got a lot to look forward to next week. So there's a lot to look forward to next week if you're a wrestling fan. Basically, Raw's season premiere, AEW's TV debut on TNT, and the Friday night SmackDown premiere on Fox. That is huge. And there's news on the draft, so it's going to be the October 11th through the 14th. October 11th and 14th on SmackDown and Raw. So that's going to be interesting. And also, I'm getting WWE 2K20. I'm getting the SmackDown edition. So whenever that gets to my dad's, whenever I get that, I'm going to post a video of me getting the box and unpacking all the contents, crap, whatever. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to next week, and I'm going to make sure that I watch. That I'm gonna watch all the episodes, and then you're gonna get the following days. You're gonna get my reviews on those episodes. But yeah, that is my pod. So this is podcast. So this is the second ever episode of Podcast X, and it's just basically wrestling news. So there's a lot to look forward to next week. I should have a continuation video of the whole thing me and King X are doing soon, up soon. So there's that to look forward to also next week. So I have a lot to look forward to next week. And it's going to be a pretty awesome week next week for wrestling. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Podcast X, and I will see you in the next video. Bullet Club for life.